And we are here for round 3 of the championship. It is the Brands Hatch Indy circuit that we'll be racing around tonight. Not the full variation of Brands Hatch like we saw 2 seasons ago in the Super Formula Lights Championship. It is the shortened, just under 2 kilometre variation. But more on that after. Great news. It's not a solo commentary tonight. The local man has returned for Brands Hatch. It's Mr. Kieran McGinley alongside me. Kieran, it's a pleasure to have you back.
Yeah, thank you very much, Evan. Yeah, great to be back as well. Yes, it's almost like a homecoming, isn't it, this Brands Hatch circuit? It's not long ago we were here before. And yeah, just like it, it's pretty overcast, not too chilly out on track, but a bit gusty as well. So we shall see. But yeah, we've got some Formula Vs out there. 24 of them in this practice session on what is essentially an oval with a little bit of a twiddly bit. Plenty of undulation to involve as well, as we head our way down towards Paddock Hill Bend for the very first time. 24 cars hurtling towards the first corner for the first time each time. Should be pretty interesting.
Yes, and of course, the last time we were here in Brands Hatch, it was a thoroughly entertaining event, but last week was also thoroughly entertaining in Silverstone. If you joined us, you will know that poor me and Ronan didn't get a breather for an hour and a half because it was just constant action. Left, right and centre. And of course we had 3 different winners last week. Jordan Kelly won heat number 1, Ronan Doherty won heat number 2, and then Sean McClements with a broken toe won heat number 3. And that bodes nicely for the championship, which is extremely close at the top of the order, and there is just a singular point separating Ronan Doherty and Rory O'Shea. 142 for Ronan, 141 for Rory O'Shea. Tortullo's consistency paying off, and he's third in 136. Dylan McClements then in fourth on 134, with Tony Stack in a very impressive 5th place after his podium in the second heat last week. He's on 113. Then it is one-time race winner Sean McClements in 6th on 106. Jamal Gandor then in 7th on 91. Conor Melia in 8th on 79. Dave Collier in 9th on 77, and then it is Robbie Callaghan who rounds us out in 10th on 63. But just for a brief second, folks, I'd just like to quickly talk about the man who's in 7th place on your screen, Jamal Gandor, who started off this season in unbelievable fashion, but unfortunately we got a little bit of bad news today about Jamal, and he suffered a bit of a health issue, so we will not be seeing Jamal for the next couple of weeks. And Jamal, if you are tuning in, or if you do see this in the next coming days from myself, Kieran, Ronan, and the rest of the Games for TV crew, and the rest of behind the scenes in RTA, but they'll be sending you their own messages, of course, we would just like to wish you well, and we hope that Jamal Gandor Simps delivery will be back on our screens very, very shortly. But yeah, so get well soon, Jamal, and we do look forward to seeing you again soon. But at the top of the championship then, Kieran, I suppose you come back at a decent time, because it literally couldn't be closer. Well, it could, but you know what I mean.
It couldn't be closer. It's by 1 point. But yes, I understand what you mean. No, it's a case of Ronan Doherty as Peter McCann flying backwards there. Not what you want to see. But Ronan Doherty, yeah, he's picked up a healthy amount of wins this season. 4 of them, I believe, to be exact. And but the 17th and a 9th place finishing there means that the championship is pretty much wide open. So even though Ronan Doherty has worked hard and getting those race wins, those ones where he finished off the pace, I'm assuming incidents involved with that 17th placed finish, but the 9th place finish as well means that he is right pretty much neck and neck at the top of the table, which for us is great to see. But for Ronan Doherty, he'll be a bit kicking himself for that one. I mean, you know, he's worked hard and still only leads the championship by the singular point.
Yeah, he has. Rory O'Shea finished on the podium in all 3 races last week. He got 3rd, 2nd and 3rd. And then the first week in Snetterton, only 2 podiums, I should say. Didn't get a podium in the first heat, so that is 5 podiums in a row for Rory O'Shea, which is rather consistent. Speaking of consistent, we've had 3 winners in the first 6 races for the 2nd season in a row. We have just replaced Oscar Mangan with Sean McClements for this season. I suppose we cast our eyes back to the last time we were here at Brands Hatch, and one of the McClements brothers, Dylan, on that occasion, had a very impressive showing in Heat 3 with a mighty defensive effort on Jordan Kelly. And I suppose that will give Dylan a little bit of confidence coming in tonight, and maybe he's one of many that we have to watch out for.
I think Yeah, that is definitely the case. I mean, Tony Stack as well. Don't forget him. Don't sleep on Tony Stack. He's been phenomenal at the start of this season. Very consistent at the start of this season. And will he break that podium? Well, he has got a podium, but he would love another one at some point as well to really keep up that charge. He's had a really impressive season so far. I'm looking forward to seeing what Tony can do around the Brands Indy circuit. It looks easy, this circuit, but I can guarantee you the undulation changes, the fact that we're downhill at turn 1. We've already had someone spin at the exit of Druids there. But Jordan Kelly is that who's had the spin there, so possibly just over-rotating the rear end, carrying a bit too much speed through, and the back end says absolutely not. But this is a circuit, as you can see, out of the Graham Hill bend there. You can take a bit of track limits on the outside there. This is a terrifying corner, Paddock Hill bend, because if you get any understeer there, it's almost like it's understeer and understeer, and all of a sudden at the bottom of the hill, the car actually does get the adhesion and grips in at the front, and you're able to carry it through. But if you're still understeering and you do panic, you can find that gravel so easily. And luckily, it's not replicated in iRacing, but that gravel can really catch you and even send you for a flip if you're not careful and if you catch it at the wrong angle.
Yeah, I actually drove this track in advance of this evening. Not going to say what platform I drove it on before everybody has a go at me, but it may have been on a PlayStation. It's very easy to go into that gravel. One sort of little mistake through Paddock Hill Bend, and you are off the road, and there's not much runoff there. Obviously, you have been here, Kieran, so you'll have a little bit more hands-on experience with just how little runoff there is, but it is it's very sort of difficult to nail that corner time and time again without making a mistake. First few laps going in and qualifying here then, folks, it is Sean McGoldrick who's top of the order. Connor Melia then in second, then it is Sean McClements in third. Sean McClements sporting a new livery tonight, which we'll have another look at later on, but we're on board with Connor Melia. Here you can see Sean McClements' new livery. He's running the blue. Dylan will be in the red, so thankfully that's cluster, etc., etc. I'm not going to say the rest of it. From Snetterton and Silverstone has ended. You can see there the blue for Sean, the red for Dylan. That's how we can differentiate them. Ronan Doherty then fourth, and Thor Tullow in fifth. Debutants from Silverstone, Logan Hoy is in sixth, and we actually have 3 debutants tonight, and it's very unusual for RTA to have 3 in the one evening. TJ Taff, a friend of Logan's, will be making his debut, also from County Louth. Kind of like the old conundrum with the buses, isn't it? You have, hold on, I've been waiting for buses all week, so this is melting my brain. Kieran, what's the phrase about the buses?
You wait for one bus and 3 come along at once.
Yeah, that's I couldn't get it out. I just couldn't say the phrase, but that is what I'm thinking of. We've no County Louth drivers now. We have 2. This is another one, Adam McNamara, who races Formula Vs in real life in the Irish Formula V Championship and was racing in Mondello a couple of weeks ago, and might have been racing in Kirkstown last weekend, but cannot confirm nor deny that. And then we have Paulo Tempera, who is making his debut, a Portuguese national who is here in RTA. So we always love our not foreign drivers, but not Irish drivers. We like to see the different nationalities represented, and Paulo will be looking to continue the strong form for them. But currently in qualifying, it is Sean McGoldrick who is still quickest. And I suppose the beauty of Brands Hatch Indy is, Kieran, that you're certainly not short of laps completed.
Oh, absolutely. And the great thing is as well in these Formula Vs is that you need the tow. You really do need the tow. So you're almost going to see like what we see in Formula 3 and Formula 2 at Monza, where everybody's just waiting for each other. And a whole debacle of F1 at Monza, by the way, as well. But in this case, you're going to have that's someone going for a big slide there at Paddock Hill Bend. Yeah, it's all going to be about making sure you grab the toe of the car ahead. You don't really want to be at the front of the queue. That's Andrew Murphy, who had the spin there on the exit of Paddock Hill Bend. But yeah, you'll get these sort of triplets, these quartets that are running around together, trying to, use the toe of each other. Sean McGoldrick currently fastest by 2 1,000ths of a second. Like we said, this is a track here that's very easy to learn, but in order to get it absolutely spot on, it's very, very difficult indeed. We're watching now Tony Stack as he tackles his way through Surtees and then in towards Clark Curve here. Clark Curve is a very late apex here. It's much later than you think. And even when you start to put the power down, you see the track falls away from you as you try to do it. So it's very easy to put the power on too early, spin up the rear tyres as you go over the undulation and find yourself facing the wrong way. And let's ride on board with Tony Stack then as he tackles through Paddock Hill Bend. You cannot see the apex when you turn in. You're turning in and you're hoping that the car follows through and makes sure it hits the apex. And then you're, again, blind up towards the right-hander of Druids. This is a fast-flowing circuit, and it will not take any mercy.
Yes, Jordan Kelly gone quickest of the session, and of course, as per most weeks, we have Jordan's Fabulous onboard to cut to, and I feel bad because he kind of just started it, but I think Kieran McGinley is going to have to be the one to do the Brands Hatch onboard. As much as I like waffling, but, you know, you can't beat local knowledge.
Apparently not. Well, no pressure then. Let's have a look.
Mondello and
well, let's have a look then on board with Jordan Kelly. Then, as we said before, down the hill, then in through Paddock Hill Bend, as you then climb your way up towards Druids. Again, 2 first corners, completely blind apexes. You have to turn in here and hope that the car will find the apex and that you find it yourself. Back on the power then as we head down the hill then, get all the way to the right-hand side of Graham Hill Bend. You're turning in, clipping the curb on the right-hand side, and then feeding the car across that AstroTurf on the right-hand side. There would be cameras there in Motorsport to catch you, but here we're absolutely fine. Here through Surtees, then flat out through here, and then you have to start to go down the gears and turn in down to 3rd place then for Jordan Kelly as we approach Clark Curve, and then we get back onto the power as the track falls away from you. It's full power now, all the way now. You have to find the shortest run to the line, hugging the right-hand side as much as possible down the Brabham Straight, and that's a very, very quick lap of the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. We can get round here in about 53 seconds.
Yes, I think it is going to be the first RTA race, certainly in a long time, where we're actually going to get more laps completed than the race duration. So we'll have more than 10 laps in the 10-minute race, for example, which is rather unique. But it is still Jordan Kelly who is quickest around Brands Hatch, and he loves this Brands Hatch circuit, of course, having great success in English racing from time to time. Dylan McClemens currently in 2nd, Sean McGoldrick in 3rd. This is Jordan Kelly who you're looking at following in the slipstream. Here's Conor Melia as well, rounding through the left-hander. One thing we saw in qualifying last week in Silverstone that we've not seen here this week was crashes. We saw an absurd amount of crashes in Silverstone qualifying. Thankfully, they've all kept it clean here in Brands Hatch, and they're going to save the mass incidents for the 3 main races, which I'm sure we are going to get. But here is Conor Melia rounding through the final corner, the Clark Curve, and up the Brabham Straight, down towards Paddock Hill Bend. Up and across the start-finish line he will go, and we will see if he is able to improve upon his time. And Conor Melia currently sits 4th.
Yeah, good time from him so far, and Sean McGoldrick looking to pick up on that good form as well. He's currently up onto the 2nd row of the grid, and Tony Stack currently down in 9th place at the moment, 54.3. But if we have a look at the entire order right now, we have got, bear in mind it's 53 seconds to lap this circuit, we have 16 drivers within a second of the fastest lap time right now. The entire field, if we're including Grace McCallion in this, separated by 2.5 seconds. That's really good. And when you're talking about, say, the top 7 covered by 0.3 of a second, the top 9 covered by just over half a second, the top 14 covered by 0.8 of a second, this is a track where it's fully momentum based. There's not, the only heavy braking zone is up towards Druids, and even then you've got the sharp incline to help you slow the car down. And with that, you've got to keep up the momentum. If you lose momentum around this track, you will fall behind. You will lose a second or two for the next couple of laps until you can get back into the rhythm again. So it's all about making sure you take a smooth line through these corners. Make sure you don't scrub off too much speed. Keep up that speed as much as you can. The higher average speed on a lap you can get, the more of a chance you've got to win, especially a track like this where a mistake will cost you tons of positions.
Yes, we were looking at Robbie Callaghan there. He's 7th. We're now looking at Ronan Doherty, who's able to take pole position here in this one. And we do have 5 minutes to go here in qualifying, so still plenty of time for drivers to set laps. Of course, you could probably get about 5 laps in that period. Ronan Doherty is quickest of the bunch. Conor Melia in second. That's a rather peculiar one. He's known maybe for his racecraft potentially, but I don't think I've ever seen Conor start in the front row here for the first heat. Sean McClemens in third, so Jordan Kelly already down to fourth. Dylan McClemens is currently in fifth. Sean McGoldrick in sixth. Then it is Robbie Callahan out of Tortullo and Tony Stack. And then Adam McNamara, who's starting out well here in 10th. Here is Dylan McClemens just following around his brother Sean, who you can see in front, and very different lines from the two of them. Sean running a lot wider than Dylan, and I think he is going to actually let Dylan through here. So Sean abandoning his... Oh! Well, I thought he was abandoning his lap, then he decided that he's going to go cutting some grass. So in towards the right-hander of the Clark curve for Dylan McClemens, uses all that red and white curb on the right-hand side. He's just going to hold the inside line up towards the start-finish line and see, can he challenge Ronan Doherty at the top of the order? Here comes Dylan McClemens up towards the start-finish line, moves over to try and get ready for his run in towards Paddock Hill Bend. It won't be an improvement for Dylan, a 54-1 on that occasion.
Yep, and not many laps to go. Well, I say not many laps to go. We've got about 3 laps if you really put some good laps together and if you've got the fuel to do so. So we watch on then Dylan McClemens tackle Druids now. Back on the power he will go as you now run down the hill. And it's such a great circuit, this one. I do enjoy this. Up in the commentary box, you get the view of the entire circuit, which is not something you can say about many circuits around here. Liddon Hill is a similar one, where you get to see the whole track from that commentary box. But yeah, the Brands Indy circuit, it hosts fantastic club racing sports. If you get a chance to visit Brands Indy, do so as a spectator. You get some great action, and there are quite a few places you can see the whole circuit from. So thoroughly recommend it. Not that I'm being biased or anything, of course.
If you're wondering why Sean McClemens sort of irrationally pulled across the circuit in front of his brother, he was actually texting me, is what he was doing. He sent me a laughing emoji. So that's why Sean pulled across the circuit, because just as he did that, yeah. So hello, Sean, if you are watching, and yeah, Kieran McGinley giving some recommendations for the Brands Hatch commentary box. Can't say I've ever been in there. Montella's quite good as well, I suppose. Ronan Doherty currently quickest to the order with 2 minutes to go here in session. We've still got plenty of cars out on circuit, so could be some improvements further along the way. Peter McCann down in 9th position. He was second actually at the end of practice. Of course, slipstream does matter a lot for lap times here, so a couple of the practice times could be fairly skewed depending on when they set them, who they had in the slipstream. But still, keep an eye on Peter. He's started the season off very well in this Motorsport.ie Formula V Championship. Took second place in the first round at Stenderson, and in all honesty, could have got more. There's the crash. That's Adam McNamara, the debutant, who has been hit by last week's debutant, Logan Hoy. So the young drivers of Ireland not necessarily getting on too well in the run down to Paddock Hill.
Yeah, it's a tough one, and off-roading there goes Thortullen as the exit of Druids there, just taking a little bit too much speed through there, and not long left on the clock now. We have less than 90 seconds, so if you're starting a lap now, this will be your final attempt to get a lap time on there, because if you're watching us for the first time, great race to watch us for the first time, but as soon as that countdown hits 0, that is the end of the session. No laps can be completed, so you've really got to put together now. Drivers that are crossing the line, Jordan Kelly for one, for example, this is his final attempt to get himself onto pole position.
Yes, here we go. Then across the line goes Jordan Kelly. And it was a 54-2 there, but he will have one more bite of the cherry. We're down through Paddock Hill. Doesn't run as wide as we saw in his track guide. He'll be looking to break sort of under the bridge here for the right-hander, maybe even a little bit later than that. And yeah, this isn't a qualifying lap at all. He's pulled off to the left-hand side.
Yeah, so that's that then. We'll have a look at other drivers. Ronan Doherty has pitted in, so it won't be him. Sean McClemens then is probably going to be the closest driver to see if he can have a chance. Dylan McClemens as well, setting a 53.9 that last time around, putting him now up into 5th place. Let's ride on board with the nose then of Sean McClemens. Not really any dirty air to worry about, but smoke in the air from a lockup is not going to help, and Sean McClemens bails out of the lap. He knows he's not going to improve from there. Dylan McClemens also bailing out of the lap. So Robbie Callahan now in that Irish tricolour makes his way through in towards the final corner. On the power he will go then. Can he make good of the toe, get himself higher than 7th place? Nope, the clock reaches 0, and that is qualifying done and dusted.
Yes, the clock says you're not getting your lap in, Robbie, and that will be that. Pole position then for the second time this season goes to Ronan Doherty, but intriguingly, for the first time this season, it's not Sean McClemens in second. It is Conor Melia. Sean is down in third. Then it is Jordan Kelly, Dylan McClemens, Sean McGoldrick, Robbie Callaghan, Tor Tullow. Then we have Peter McCann, Tony Stack, Adam McNamara, Philip Upson. Then it is Logan Hoy. Then underneath Logan, we have Paolo Tempera, Matthew Todd, David Prunty, Dave Collier, Andrew Murphy, Mark Ivory, Nick Tullow, Rich Murphy, Grace McCallion, TJ Taff, and Jared Thornton. We don't have an awful lot of time here before we get going, but Kieran, I think this is going to be a little bit of a messier race one.
Yeah, turn one, Paddock Hill Bend, downhill on entry, blind apex. Yeah, it's a cocktail that is going to be completely sane and predictable, I think.
Thankfully, we don't have Finlay Melvin on the grid this season, who has potentially the greatest jump start in this organisation's history down towards Paddock Hill Bend. It's on YouTube somewhere if you want to go find it. It was back in the IDM, or was it back in the IDMC? I don't know. My RTA history is not good enough. Ask Ronan Hederman about that after the stream. But it is going to be Ronan, who is on the front row alongside Conor Melia. Two Irish Formula V racers in the Motorsport.ie Formula V Championship. And of course, if you're wondering why we keep saying what Motorsport.ie is, one, you're a fool for not knowing, and two, make sure to go check out the #1 source for Irish motorsport news, Motorsport.ie. And don't tell them I called you a fool for not knowing. It's never too late to find out about some brilliant Irish motorsport news. Here comes the black box for the lights then, and we will run down towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time as 5 red lights come on and we go racing here in Brands Hatch. Great start, Sean McGoldrick already getting a spot on Dylan McClemens. Ronan Doherty clean away in towards turn 1, but good start from Conor Melia as well. Looking to fling it the long way around the outside. Very difficult move to do in the opening lap. Pulls back into line. The front couple are through fairly cleanly. Ronan Doherty now under pressure from Jordan Kelly. Sean McClemens looking to make a move down the inside as well. Only is able to get second, not first. Seems like we've got through fairly unscathed.
Let's not speak too soon, though. Ronan Doherty leading the way. Conor Melia now into second place. Sean McClemens chasing him all the way. And then behind them as well, we have Sean McGoldrick and Jordan Kelly. Jordan Kelly losing out slightly on the start there. We have a car going wild off the road. I think that was Philip Upson who's falling down the order now. Battle for second place as Sean McClemens looks for a move round the outside then in towards the final corner. Jordan Kelly, meanwhile, gets past Sean McGoldrick. Up into fourth place, he will go once again. Conor Melia has his mirrors full of Sean McClemens there. McClemens has found himself on the inside now as we make our way once again towards Paddock Hill Bend, and he'll chuck this in and hope it sticks on the inside here. Just got to be so careful not to wash out an understeer here, but they do both make it through. Jordan Kelly might make it 3 wide here. He's seen an opportunity. He sniffed it out, then down the inside he goes, in towards Druids, back on the power he goes, and Jordan Kelly moves up to second.
Clinical racing from Jordan Kelly. He's now got Conor Melia back down the inside, but Kelly's able to run it wide, exiting the Graham Hill bend, and he is able to pull just in ahead. Here is Sean McGoldrick that we're looking at, attacking fellow Sean McClemens just in front, and the Banana is almost looking to try and overtake, well, whatever Sean's new livery is in front. It's an actual racing livery, so there's no joke really that could be made there. Tor Tullow just behind these two as well. Tor has not finished outside the top 6 once this season, so Tor will be looking to continue on that strong form. The 2 Irish Formula V racers, 3 Irish Formula V racers, potentially even 4 this time next year, as Jordan Kelly looking to try fling it around the outside of Ronan Doherty in front. This is utterly difficult to pull off. If Jordan Kelly is able to make it stick, he isn't. Has to stay behind for the time being. Tor Tullow is looking for a move, or should I say being attacked, as Dylan McClemens swoops on by.
Yeah, Dylan McClemens. Oh no, we've got a spinner up at the front then. It's Ronan Doherty who's around, and once again the 4-time winner in this series this season has found himself spun around down to 13th place, going through the Graham Hill Bend. Let's have a look at this one, Evan.
Yeah, let's see on the Gantry TV replay. Was it all on his own? I would assume so, because Kelly was sort of far enough behind. We were looking at the fight with McClemens. As Jordan went for it down the inside, there goes Ronan Doherty through the corner. Yeah, kind of had a slide mid-corner and spun it around. A really peculiar one, though.
Yeah, it's almost like he put the power down. The rear tyres just absolutely lit up there. Oh, Jordan Kelly's run wide. And look at this, it's chaos behind them. We're 3 wide, all the way behind. Close your eyes and hope you make it at this point. As we see 3 wide on the exit there. As Sean McGoldrick finds himself up into 4th place. He's got the inside line as well and makes his way through. Dylan McClements is behind Thor Tuller. Now up into 6th place with Peter McCann up into 8th as well. Robbie Callahan has sandwiched himself in there as well. As we see side-by-side action. Robbie Callahan is trying to find a move up the inside now, as that's also another spin in the background then, and that's Thor Tuller who's around now at the final corner, and once again he gets himself back underway. Ronan Doherty might find a position here, but Jordan Kelly is looking for a move round the outside now in towards Paddock Hill Bend.
Kelly made a mistake, wasn't as costly as Doherty's, and Jordan Kelly will still be able to battle here with Sean McClements, and that's a beautiful move from Jordan Kelly around the outside. Instantly takes a defensive approach for the next right-hander. Druids, of course. Conor Mellier hot on the heels of Sean McClements as well, and Robbie Callahan under big pressure behind. That's Adam McNamara, the debutant, who's looking to try and make the move on Robbie there. So 2 of the newcomers here in RTA are both looking to make a keen impression and attract the eyes of the viewers at home. Here is Conor Mellier. They're looking for the move on Sean McClements in towards the final couple of corners through Surtees and then in towards the right-hander of the Clark curve. As that is Sean McGoldrick actually, who is looking for the move as well. So Kelly was going for a move on McClements. Next second, McGoldrick's trying it around the outside. That goes to show just how hectic things can get in this Motorsport.ie Formula V Championship. In towards Paddock Hill Bend once again. We are almost at the halfway point in this race. Sean McGoldrick dives down the inside of Conor Mellier. Is he going to be able to pull it off? Has a crucial inside line for the next corner, so might be able to go last of the late breakers. Dylan just behind these two as well. Sean McGoldrick keeps it on the inside. Conor Mellier going to have to try hang it back.
Absolutely, and he's now got the inside line as Conor Mellier, and he'll have that advantage to go through, but he has to take a tighter line here. Runs a little bit wide on the exit of the corner. Dylan McClements might be able to try and close in as well on those up ahead, but Sean McGoldrick has something to say about that, because as we make our way now through in towards Surtees, now trying to go round the outside of Clark Curve, you can see there Sean McGoldrick taking a different line to Conor Mellier, trying to prioritise the exit now of the final corner at Clark Curve. Can he keep his nose up the inside? Yes, he's being left the room there by Conor Mellier. If he can try and move down the inside here, no, he tucks back in to the racing line and into the toe of Conor Mellier for the time being. Jordan Kelly and Sean McClements starting to build a lead and trying to break away from the rest of the pack. Looking back now from Sean McGoldrick, he'll have to turn attack into defence if he's not careful, with Dylan McClements breathing down his neck.
I do apologise for calling Sean McGoldrick's car a banana, by the way. It is a Valentino Rossi livery. There's number 46 in the Monster Energy logo beside it. Not quite a banana. Oh, look at this from Logan Hoy, though. He's going to chuck one down the inside, and there comes off the peel. And that is that Jared Thorne? No, it's Peter McCann, I believe, who's involved in that. Not the first big incident that Peter McCann has been involved in this season. Went airborne in Snetterton as well, I believe. That is Logan Hoy and Peter McCann, who is involved in an incident. And not the first incident Logan has been involved in tonight, I believe. Was involved in one in qualifying as well. So disappointing for both of them. Peter has had to bail into the pit lane. So it'll be the end of him in race 1. And he'll have a tricky starting spot for heat number 2.
Yeah, he will indeed. And yeah, the nature of Graham Hill Bend is a tricky one, to say the least. Sean McClements then right on the back of Jordan Kelly as we make our way through in towards Druids there. Up close and personal. If he gets any closer to that exhaust pipe, he'll be breathing in the fumes at that point. But making our way now down in towards Graham Hill Bend for another time worth of asking. We're on the 6th lap of this race then, and we have 3 minutes left to run. So we probably have about 4 laps left of this race. Top 5 there, all in the same shot. With just the 6th place Robbie Callahan just on the tail end of this as well. Ronan Doherty is trying to fight his way back through. He picks the inside line at Surtees. It gives him the outside line then for Clark Curve as he tries to find a way past Paolo Tempera as he gets his way back onto the power then. No way past the debutant this time around, but he's got to be careful because Tony Stack is right behind him as well, and Thor Tuller also looking to try and get a move back as well. Conor Mellier now with the fastest lap of the race at 53.719.
Yes, Jordan Kelly under pressure. So they're going to go free abreast in towards Druids? No, not quite. Conor Melia backs off in the end. He's just looking to try and get the move done on Conor Melia, or should I say, trying to fend off Dylan McClemens. Says, look where Conor Melia's ended up, cutting the grass, trying to go down the inside and towards the Graham Hill bit. And the groundskeepers might be happy, but Melia certainly isn't. He's not quite got the position. Sean McClemens under pressure from Sean McGoldrick as well. This seems to be a big overtaking zone, this final corner. You would assume that Paddock Hill and Druids, pardon me, are the best overtaken zones. But this final corner is looking well as Robbie Callahan makes a mistake in the back, just lost a little bit of time and ran wide. As here comes Sean McGoldrick, tucked into the slipstream with a race leader. It's going to be difficult for McClemens to defend this one. Can Sean McGoldrick maybe go for both in towards the first corner? No, he can't. He'll have to sit behind for the time being. Disappointed, well, not necessarily disappointing for McGoldrick not to be able to take the race lead. Disappointing more so for McClemens, but McClemens is going to try fight back. Still has that inside line, and there's contact made. Now it's disappointing for McClemens, off into the barrier.
Yeah, that was a hookup then, down in towards Druids then, involving, I think that was Sean McGoldrick there involved in that as well. We'll have another look at this then as they make their way up towards Druids then. Yeah, Sean McClemens trying to make moves as well. But yeah, Jordan Kelly will be happy to see this in his rear view mirror. He goes defensive there, and as we make our way up the hill then, Sean McGoldrick tries to go around the outside. Yeah, front right, it looks a rear left, and unfortunately for Sean McClemens, that's a one-way ticket to the wall.
Yeah, Sean McClemens had a similar enough experience to the waltzers that you see at those playgrounds. As white flag is raised, it is the same fight that we saw in heat number 1 last week in Silverstone. Jordan Kelly and Dylan McClemens fighting for the win. This is a peculiar enough battle, I should say, for fourth. Especially these guys would have thought it coming into this evening. It's Adam McNamara versus Robbie Callahan, and McNamara is really looking to try and make an impact here. He's got Sean McGoldrick involved as well, and Robbie Callahan straight back down the inside, as is Sean McGoldrick looking for it. Adam McNamara has tried the switchback line, especially heading down towards Surtees through turn number 4. McNamara going to try around the outside. We'll see how that battle goes, but Jordan Kelly will be able to win it. There'll be no drag race to the line this week with Dylan McClemens. He'll win the opening heat here in Brands Hatch. Dylan McClemens in second. Conor Melia will finish on the podium in third, and I think Adam McNamara has just pipped Robbie Callahan here for fourth. It's the drag race for these two, however. It will be McNamara fourth, Robbie Callahan fifth, and then it will be Sean McGoldrick in sixth.
Oh, brilliant stuff. Brilliant racing action there as Thortilla makes his way across the line, and in 8th place, Tony Stack in 9th. Paolo Tempara is rounding off the top 10 then, and still to start to be decided at the line there, because Logan Hoy just missing out by 6/100ths of a second on a 12th place finish. David Prunty just about finishing in front of him. And yeah, big shame about Sean McClemens there, who was really battling away for a spot on the podium, but not to be this time around. He'll have to fight his way back through the pack if he wants to get his way to top honours. Ronan Doherty recovering to 7th place though. Decent enough from him after that spin he had out of Graham Hill Bend after the first couple of laps. He's not too far down the order as well, all things considered, for the next race.
Yeah, it's a decent starting spot. Certainly these guys in Silverstone and Snetterton weren't really worried about cutting through the field, so Ronan will just have to try to do it twice then. But it is Jordan Kelly who does take the race win, ahead of Dylan McClemens in second, Conor Melia then in third. Then it is Adam McNamara in fourth, Robbie Callahan in fifth. Then it is Sean McGoldrick, Ronan Doherty, Thortolo, Tony Stack, and then in 10th position it is Paolo Tempala. Then it is Andrew Murphy in 11th spot, I should say. Then it was David Prunty, Logan Hoy, Jared Thornton, and Matthew Todd, who rounds out the top 15.
Yep, and then Mark Ivory in 16th place, Rich Murphy 17th, Dave Collier in 18th place, Philip Upson 19th, Peter Buchan in 20th, Nick Tuller in 21st, Sean McClemens 22nd, Grace McCallion 23rd, and TJ Taff rounding off our 24 drivers. And we're not too far away now from race number 2.
No, we are not, and I would like to apologise to Thortolo, because I said the genius thing of he's not finished outside the top 6 this season, and then he got spun about 2 laps later. So Thortolo, unfortunately, finishing outside the top 6. It's time to make amends. He starts 8th, but it's Jordan Kelly who starts on pole, and it is Dylan McClemens alongside him as we go racing once again here in Brands Hatch. Decent start for Conor Melia, already into the race lead. What a launch from Melia down towards Paddock Hill Bend. Takes an early lead here in the Formula V's. Jordan Kelly will have to try and fight back. Ronan Doherty looking to make moves in the backpack. Sean McGoldrick has got ahead of Robbie Callahan for 5th position as they head in towards Druids. Down the inside goes Adam McNamara on Sean McGoldrick, looking to try and fend off the Oxford resident, and McGoldrick will have to try and make the move stick. No, he won't be able to. So McNamara in front, but round goes McNamara, heading through Graham Hill Bend, stops in the middle of the road, has to be careful to hold his brakes. Oh, there we go, in the air.
Yeah, collected there, absolutely. Oh, another one collected in the background there. Carnage down the back straight there, the Cooper straight, and lots of cars involved in that one. Yeah, Adam McNamara just seemed to drop it there. I'm not sure if there was any contact. I don't think there was.
Ronan Doherty in second.
I think it is. It is Ronan Doherty in second place. Started from 7th place. And now look at the gaggle of cars right behind him. As look at this up the inside. Sean McGoldrick gets at least 3rd place. Can he get a hold of 2nd place as we make our way through out of Paddock Hill Bend? Jordan Kelly, they're almost sandwiched in there as we make our way up towards Druids for the 2nd time of asking. Once again, then Sean McGoldrick down the inside as he'll look to get the power down. And if you're Conor Melior, you want this squabbling to happen right behind you. It's buying Conor Melior time here. I'm trying to count how many cars are involved in this scrap here for 2nd place. It's absolutely brilliant. I think this battle goes all the way down to 11th place.
Yeah, 10 I have it, so that would be down to 11th, 2nd to 11th. And yeah, this is helping Conor Melior. Very similar to how Sean McClements was successful in Silverstone. Just was able to run away at the front, and then when the pack inevitably caught, he was able to defend. 15 minutes this one, of course. Then we'll have a 20-minute heat with a reverse top 8 coming up after some post-race interviews. And Jordan Kelly is looking for the move on Ronan Doherty. You would be likely to think this is a battle for 1st, but it is actually a battle for 2nd position. Sean McGoldrick is then just behind. Then it's Dylan McClements, Tortullo, Tony Stack, and then it is Andrew Murphy and Paolo Tempera as well on debut. So he's running well, fighting with Robbie Callahan. No move from Kelly. Little bit of movement from Dylan McClements in the backpack, just looking to keep Tortullo behind.
Yep, absolutely. As Paolo Tempera trying to find a move up the inside, but oh no, it's Ronan Doherty again. He's off. He is off at Graham Hill Bend again. 2nd race in a row, but this time I don't know if he collected the wall, and Jordan Kelly's waiting for him here. So it's sort of Aussie rules here right now, as Jordan Kelly lets Ronan Doherty through once again to sort of say apologies. So we can only assume that Jordan Kelly was also involved, Evan.
Yeah, Jordan Kelly was losing positions at the same rate as Ronan Doherty, so let's have a look then. Very similar conditions to heat number 1. Kelly trailing Doherty in towards the Graham Hill Bend, and Doherty had a bit of a slide there, and I'm not sure where Kelly being at fault comes into it. It seemed like it was a very similar mistake for Ronan Doherty, and there goes, that is Logan Hoy, I believe, who ran wide in towards Surtees. But yeah, that's a really peculiar incident.
Very peculiar, yeah. Jordan Kelly feeling the need to wait as well. So, yeah, that's dropped them both all the way down the order there. And we'll have to keep an eye on how he can recover through the field. We know Jordan Kelly, we know his pace. It's quite unbelievable at times. But Dylan McClements, meanwhile, that's put him in 2nd place. Sean McGoldrick now in 3rd. Thor Tuller is now up into 4th place with Tony Stack in 5th. As we look behind then at Sean McGoldrick as he looks to try and move around the outside. Conor Melior is hoping he can just run away with this one right now. As look at this now, around the outside goes Sean McGoldrick to take 2nd place in this race. Dylan McClements now into 3rd place. Thor Tuller then looking to see if he can get a good exit out of Paddock Hill Bend. He'll have to go the long way round in towards Druids if he wants to make up a position there. Meanwhile then, Robbie Callahan, Tony Stack also trying to get themselves involved in this scrap and this battle here for what is 2nd place right now. We've lost a couple of drivers from this battle for 2nd place, but we could gain one very shortly because Sean McClements is trying to close in on this battle as well up at the battle for 2nd place.
Conor Melior going to be loving this as well. He's almost got a 2-second gap, 1.9 to be exact, over Sean McGoldrick in 2nd. And if Sean and Dylan start squabbling here, then Conor will be able to extend that. Sean and Dylan definitely familiar with each other, especially towards the end of last season. They were scrapping and involved in incidents pretty much every week. So this one could be a feisty one down towards the first corner. Dylan McClements dives down the inside on Sean McGoldrick. McGoldrick gives him a wide berth, and McClements just has so much more momentum heading through Paddock Hill. Picks up a little bit of gravel on the outside wheels, but nothing too major, as we do see Tortullo under a little bit of pressure from Andrew Murphy in 4th. Tony Stack just running steady there in 5th in the Super Mario livery. And then it's Robbie Callahan in the tricolour behind. But they're all line astern for the time being. A little bit wide for Dylan McClements, but nothing to call home about.
Not just yet, though. But Conor Melier is absolutely loving this right now, as he's looking for having this for the next 10 minutes through and towards the final corner he goes. He just needs to keep setting those quick, consistent lap times. He actually lost 2/1000ths of a second that last time around to Dylan McClements. But if it stays like that, lap after lap, he's got nothing to worry about. Battle for second place still going strong here. Sean McClements looking for a move around the outside. Thor Tiller is just biding his time right now. Sean McClements, can he swoop around the outside to take that position? Yes, he can. Up into second place he goes. Andrew Murphy is battling behind as well for fourth place against Thor Tuller. Down the inside, Thor will go to try and get that move back. Andrew Murphy runs a little bit deep in towards Druids then, as Tony Stack tries to take full advantage of that. Can't quite do it. You saw him back out of that move there, as we ride on board now with Super Mario himself, Tony Stack, as he looks to try and find his power up to find his way through.
Here's Tony Stack going for the move in toward. Well, he's not going for the move into towards the final corner. He's trying to tee it up down towards Paddock Hill, and he is trying to defend from Robbie Callaghan right behind. Tony and Robbie seem to be in fights every week pretty much at this point. Then it's Sean McClements who is recovering. He might just be looking to get on the reverse grid at this point, pick up some solid points here in Heat 2, and then get the reverse grid in Heat number 3. There hasn't been a McClements on the podium in Heat number 2, actually, in either of the first 2 rounds, but there's been at least one McClements on the podium in the rest of the heats in both the first 2 rounds. So
why would you say
doing
that?
A nice job now.
Why would you say that? What have you done, Evan? Did you not learn from the first race?
Process.
Oh, and that's a Sean McClements around then. That's Sean McClements around at Graham Hill Bend.
No.
Evan, what have you done? There needs to be a public apology from you, Evan, signed by you to Sean McClements. That's unbelievable. I can't believe you did that.
My stat sheet has brought out some howlers tonight. I'm never going to be allowed into the McClements household again. Because I'm not even going to say the other son's name.
No, I wouldn't at this point. Otherwise, you'd have Dylan knocking on your door. Meanwhile, then Sean McGoldrick is trying to find his way past Dylan McClements. Then for second place, Thor Tuller thought about a move up the inside. Sean McGoldrick then is having to go slightly defensive there, going in towards Druids as we get back onto the power once again. Thor Tuller then maybe looking for an outside move at Graham Hill Bend, but he's not quite close enough to have that door open to. See if he can poke a nose through. All this is doing then, let's have a look at the gaps. Yet another 3/100ths of a second that Conor Melier has lost to Dylan McClements. Again, at this pace, he's absolutely fine right now. Just keep doing what he needs to do in that Martini livery, shaken not stirred, and this will be a victory.
It's probably the first time that we want less Dylan McClements from Evan.
You do.
His mouth here today being pronounced, because we don't really want to curse him, as he is running very well down towards Paddock Hill just as he loses the position, which is rather ironic. Fastest lap of the race though, Robbie Callaghan. That's very impressive in the train.
Yeah, he's right at the back of this, so he's getting all that lovely tow to help him down the straights then. Andrew Murphy having to hold back Tony Stack. Tony Stack tries to find that red mushroom to get his way past. He hasn't found it yet. But will a bolt of lightning, just like a move down the inside, be the key to getting this move done?
Yes, he is just trying to get closer towards that podium place that he got this time last week in heat number 2, but has to try and get past a couple of cars if he wants to get there. We're heading in towards the final minutes of this heat. Conor Melier leads by 2.3 seconds and is looking comfortable at the front of this one. Sean McGoldrick is just looking to try and defend from both Dylan McClements and Thor Tullo. Thor Tullo sort of boxed in by the pair, however. He'll have to stay behind. Dylan McClements goes for the move in towards Paddock Hill. He's got the job done. Excellent move that from Dylan. He seems to be very quick through that first corner. McGoldrick just able to get the run on him, however. Back down in towards Druids, and he'll remain ahead. It's swapping, it's changing. We don't know where to look.
Yeah, and for Dylan McClements there, he took that inside line, but of course you wash out a little bit because when Sean McGoldrick went slightly wider, he was able to pick up the apex earlier and carry more speed on the exit. That's how he was able to get back through. So you can take a couple of different lines through in towards Paddock Hill Bend. You'd normally take you one for the fastest lap. There goes Andrew Murphy launching a move up the inside there. Thor Tuller has to give the space there. Andrew Murphy taking no prisoners through in towards the final corner there. Moves himself up into 4th place. Thor Tortilla will remember that, because now he's looking for a move and see if he can move around the outside. Dylan McClements, meanwhile, thinking about a move up the inside once again in towards Paddock Hill Bend. But if Sean McGoldrick can just copy-paste the move he did last time around, he'll be happy with that for the rest of the race. Andrew Murphy right behind, looking to attack and defend at the same time. He tries to move up the inside, but he's got in too deep there. Tortilla goes right around the outside and takes back that 4th place. Dylan McClements, though, able to hold on to 2nd place ahead of Sean McGoldrick.
We know Dylan can defend around Brands Hatch, however, this is very, very different. The slipstream is unbelievably powerful in this 69 brake horsepower Formula V machine, as Tortilla stays in front of Andrew Murphy and almost look for a little bit more down the inside and towards the final braking zone. He will just stay behind Sean McGoldrick, however. Great run off that final corner for Andrew Murphy. He'll tuck into the slipstream and look for it down towards Paddock Hill, but difficult job this, especially given the amount of weaving going on in front of him. Bolts to the outside of Tortilla. McGoldrick bolts to the outside of a blinking Dylan McClements. McGoldrick gets the move done. Is Andrew Murphy able to get the move done? Not quite, but still alongside, heading in towards the hairpin corner of Druids. Is he able to make the move stick on Tortilla, the newcomer here this season? He is. Great move by Andrew Murphy. Teed it up nicely in towards Paddock Hill. Got it done on the exit of Druids.
Yep, through Graham Hill Bend he'll go then. Can he hold off that attack then as we ride on board with Robbie Callahan, who still has the fastest lap of this race, 53.980, as he now makes his way through in towards Surtees and then makes his way through in towards Clark Curve. This 6-car battle right now for 2nd place is only helping Conor Melia to just keep doing what he does best. He was nearly a 1/10 of a second quicker than the queue right behind him, so he's absolutely loving this. And once again, we're going too wide. It's Noah's Ark. It's 2 by 2 by 2, almost there. 2 by 2 at the very least. Sean McGoldrick then up the inside of Dylan McClements. Meanwhile, Tortilla is trying to go round the outside. He does well not to wash out there. And Dylan McClements looking for a move up the inside again. Andrew Murphy trying to go aggressive in towards Druids and find a move up the inside. He hasn't got that to work. He has to back out of it, and it might Constantina up behind him as they make their way towards Graham Hill Bend, and Tony Stack takes full advantage of that and gets up the inside of Tortilla to get himself up to 5th place.
Yeah, some brilliant racing in this pack here. It's not as chaotic as Silverstone, but definitely as entertaining. As we're just coming up on the 13 out of 15 minute mark, Conor Melia still leading at the front. But this is the real fight, the battle for 2nd. As we look back from Dylan McClements, we see some piece of the car floating mid-air, but that is just a graphical error. Dylan McClements' car is firing on all cylinders, all 4 cylinders in that Volkswagen engine, as Dylan McClements still seems to have the better line through turn number 1, just that little bit quicker on entry. Maybe not on exit, but definitely on entry. Here is Tortilla and Tony Stack. Stack down the inside. Tolo on the outside, but we'll have the inside for the next corner. And no, he won't, because round goes Stack. Oh, and he collects Robbie Callahan with him.
Yeah, and it's just making sure. Oh, that was a rejoin and a half there, but also trying to get through as well was Ronan Doherty. So he did well to avoid that one, as just a rejoin there from Tony Stack. He was so keen and eager to get back into the battle there that he kind of lost his bearing slightly there. But, in the background there, that's Andrew Murphy, who's lost the back end. Did he tap the front there and that unsettled the car? Or did he lose the back end all on his own? Now he has to spin the car around. He chooses to go onto the grass to get himself back onto there. But into the closing stages now, it's down to 2 for a battle on the podium here, as we have Dylan McClements versus Sean McGoldrick then. And then there were 2 for a battle for 2nd place. Dylan McClements looking for a move up the inside, trying to break later then than Sean McGoldrick. He'll get back onto the power. Can he hold that position? Or will Sean McGoldrick just about keep a nose ahead? No, he can't. So Dylan McClements takes over 2nd place. Sean McGoldrick 3rd.
Yeah, Sean McGoldrick tucked right up behind Dylan McClements here. And remember, these two have had their fair share of RTA fights. That's not going to change, and Sean McGoldrick will be looking to finish in front of the youngster. We will have one more lap after this one. Conor Melia now has a 3.7 second lead in front of these two, so a mistake-free lap, and he's taking it home. Here comes Sean McGoldrick, though, to the outside of Dylan McClements, down the start-finish straight. Dylan McClemens has ran a great line through Paddock Hill here, so McGoldrick knows he's got to try and get creative. Runs it the long way around the outside, forces McClemens to the inside. Now he's gone for the up and under, forced him or tried to move around the outside, dummied back to the inside, and now Sean McGoldrick is ahead briefly, but McClemens still looks to hang it around the outside, still has a wheel alongside, still definitely has the inside line here in towards the Graham Hill bed, and he might just be okay if he gets a good exit off this corner. But Sean McGoldrick equally as quick as they head down towards Surtees and through the little mini S's. McClemens now falls behind. Sean McGoldrick gets the move done. This one might be a drag to the line.
It might well be, but Conor Melia is making his way towards the checkered flag to take the victory here as he'll make his way through. But who will grab second?
Here we go then, up the hill they go. McClemens tucked into the slipstream, was involved in a drag race in Silverstone, lost that one, will lose this one. Sean McGoldrick gets second, Dylan McClemens gets third. Then it is Sean McClemens who comes home in fourth after somehow dodging Robbie Callaghan and Tony Stack on the Exeter Druids. Logan Hoy, best result here in his RTA career, comes home in fifth.
Brilliant stuff there from Conor Melia then, as he did what he needed to do then, just build up that gap, keep it there. And obviously, with everyone else battling behind him, he was able to just pull away, do his own race, set his own lap times, and that was that. Shame about Robbie Callaghan and Andrew Murphy there, because they were really on for some great points up the order then, but unfortunately not the case. Dave Collier, meanwhile, up 12 places. In all that mayhem, he managed to get himself up into 6th place, so he'll be right ready on the second row of the reverse grid race. But Conor Melia takes the victory there, and a well-earned victory to boot as well. Sean McGoldrick then in 2nd place with Dylan McClemens in 3rd. Sean McClemens in 4th, having gained 18 positions. We did say he would start at the back and had to fight his way through, and fight his way through he did. Logan Hoy is in 5th place then, Dave Collier in 6th. Jordan Kelly did recover to 7th place with Tony Stack in 8th. Peter McCann in 9th, up 11 places, with Robbie Callaghan rounding off the top 10. Then it's Andrew Murphy in 11th place, Mark Ivory in 12th, Ronan Doherty is in 13th place, Philip Upson 14th with Thor Tuller in 15th place, David Prunty in 16th, Nick Tuller in 17th place, Paolo Tempera is Nick Tuller 17th place, Paolo Tempera 18th place, with Gerard Thornton, Rich Murphy, Adam McNamara, Matthew Todd, and Grace McCallion finishing a couple of laps behind, with TJ Taff not making, I don't think he made the start of the previous race. But yeah, what a race that was, Evan.
It was, and we can hear from the race winner now, Conor Melia. Conor, congratulations. You've done what no other man has managed to do this season and dominate from the front.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a good feeling.
It was a quite dominant race, really, from you. But we've seen a lot of sort of battles and stuff tonight. Is it still as sort of slipstream heavy as maybe we saw in Snetterton and Silverstone?
The slipstream is definitely strong, but just because of the way the track is, it does reward a better driver a little bit, whereas Silverstone especially was such a long straight that even if someone was not nearly as fast as you through the corners, they could keep with you fairly easily. So I think that's why we have kind of a few different groups breaking out. As long as you're within, I'd say, about half a second, maybe 4/10 of someone, you can stick with them fairly easily, but anything further out than that definitely takes a bit more driving.
And then coming into Heat 3 then, obviously you have been given the burden of starting 8th. Is it survival of the fittest, or do you think you've something to work with here?
It's definitely survival. I mean, I've seemed to have figured out how to start these things fairly reliably, and reliably quicker than most everyone else. So I reckon I can get some spots off the start and then just try and tuck in. I don't even know who's ahead of me, but just, yeah, get the head down and pass them.
Conor, thank you very much for joining us, and all going well, we'll hear again from you later.
Cheers, lads. Have a good one.
And I'm going to hand it over to Kieran McGilly now to speak to Dylan McClemens.
Yes, absolutely. Let's bring Dylan in by the scruff of his neck. Dylan, welcome along. It's a 2nd place and a 3rd place from you. Bearing in mind you qualified in 5th, what's been the secret to your back-to-back podiums?
I mean, there's a lot of chaos there happening at the start of the couple of laps, and I get out of it and get my head clean. I have to work on my starts because I've been bogging down a bit too much, but maybe the starts are saving me from all this chaos.
Yeah, you had a great battle as well with Sean McGoldrick. You were swapping places left, right, and centre. It was just a never-ending battle. What was it like from your point of view?
I mean, at the start of the battle, we try to work together, try to catch corner, but then time was ticking down, so the last couple of laps we just went for it. I tried to get the run on him out of the last corner, and I was just so close of nearly getting it. But yeah, it's something I'll know for the next race in case there's something similar to like this.
And of course, you start from 5th place in the reverse grid race. We've seen how difficult it is to make a pass and make it stick. How confident are you feeling into the final race?
I mean, the moves I've done are pretty simple. And nothing I had to really battle for. The moves seemed easy, but what I'll need to focus on this last race is the start, because I still haven't got them perfected or, even half good. But I'll see. Try to get a good start and keep my head down, keep out of chaos.
Dylan, thank you so much for having a chat to us. We'll let you get ready for the final race and good luck in it.
All right, cheers. See you.
Thank you very much, and back to you, Evan, for the start of this race. We've got a good one on our hands. We've got Conor Melier, who's in a rich vein of form. He's got 2 podiums, one of them a win. He's going to be a man to beat, but he has to start from 8th, and it's going to be Tony Stack who takes the reverse grid pole.
It is, and Tony, a man, of course, who got a podium last week in Silverstone. Conor Melier only got 1 podium last season, and that was in the first round, so he's already bettered, I suppose, his statistical performances from the Motorsport.ie Mustang America's Cup here in the Motorsport.ie Formula V Championship. I suppose you always got to keep an eye on your Dohertys and Kellys of the world as well. Jordan Kelly going to be starting on the front row, and traditionally when we see Kelly at the front of the grid, you can usually expect him to dominate from the front, but it's very different here in the Formula Vs because of that slipstream. We heard what Connor said. If you're within 4/10 of the car in front, you can usually keep with them.
Yeah, exactly that. And we've already seen the tow around here is so important. We've got a lot of battling to do on our hands. We've got 20 minutes to sort it all out, and we have a grid ready for the final race.
We do, and it will be Tony Stack on pole, Jordan Kelly second, then a very intriguing second row of Dave Collier and Logan Hoy. Then it is an all McClemens third row, Sean McClemens, Dylan McClemens, and then it is Sean McGoldrick and Conor Melier. Peter McCann will line up 9th with Robbie Callaghan in 10th. Then it will be Andrew Murphy who starts in 10th position, and then a little bit further back, Doherty in 13th, and it is Philip Upson, Thor Tullow, head of David Prunty. Then behind Prunty, we do have Paolo Tempera, Jarrett Thornton, Rich Murphy, Adam McNamara, Matthew Todd, and Grace McCallion. Unfortunately, don't think we're going to get to see TJ Taff here, but as the 5 red lights come on for the final time this evening, we go racing in Brands Hatch. What a start by Jordan Kelly, already up and ahead of Tony Stack, trying to fish it around the outside of Paddock Hill Bend. There'll be no issues here. Jordan Kelly is into the race lead. Great start for Sean McClemens as well. Gets ahead of his brother, Logan Hoy, and Dave Collier already off the launch. Conor Melier said he's found a consistent starting routine. He has indeed. He's up to 7th.
Up to 7th and looking to carry that forward. Meanwhile, then Sean McGoldrick trying to find a way past Dave Collier then as we make our way through in towards Graham Hill Bend for the first time of asking in our final race this evening. But yeah, Jordan Kelly up at the front there, but he's not going to have it his own way. He's going to be challenged there by Tony Stack. Then we've got Dylan McClemens trying to find his way through the field as well. He's currently trying to go round the outside there. And he does have Robbie Callaghan right on his inside. He's got to be careful about making moves around the outside here. But we look back then at Sean McClemens, who's got himself now up into 2nd place. So he's now been released, and he will definitely try to close in on Jordan Kelly. He's got to shake off the attack of Tony Stack, though, as all this contact, Sean McGoldrick around and into the kitty litter at Paddock Hill Bend. He will get to recover and get his way back around, but he is well and truly down the field now.
Yep, the sun umbrella can go up. McGoldrick's taking a trip to the beach on the exit of Paddock Hill Bend. Very disappointing for Sean, who seemed to have fairly competitive pace around here. Robbie Callaghan and Peter McCann side by side. Callaghan looking for a bit of an audacious move into the Graham Hill Bend, but that has now put him in nice position to try and get around the outside of Peter McCann, and he has. So Callaghan ahead, breaks later in towards the right-hander. Ronan Doherty, championship leader, just behind these two. Doherty needs a good point score in this race, or we will see a change of lead in the championship. Obviously no Rory O'Shea here tonight, so that'll be his drop round confirmed. So Rory O'Shea will have to perform well in the rest of the rounds this season, but that's a later talking point. Fastest lap of the race, Sean McClemens, but very impressive start for Logan Hoy, who's currently tracking for a podium.
Yeah, Economelia as well, looking to see if he can find his way up through the order now. Of course, won the last race, so he had to start in 8th place. He's up the inside here of Robbie Callahan to take over 6th place. And looking at that, right round his outside is Peter McCann. Although Robbie Callahan is not going to let that go, losing a position, lying down. Look at that battle up the top, though. Sean McClements has caught Jordan Kelly now, as he really pumping in those lap times. 53.8 from Sean McClements last time around. That was compared to a 54.2 from Jordan Kelly. He has reeled him in, has Sean McClements. He looks very much up for this fight right now. Then it's a bit of a split back to 3rd place, but it's got Tony Stack and Logan Hoy battling away for a place on the podium. Tony Stack has finished once on the podium this season. How he'd love to make that 2 here tonight.
Yes, he would love to make that too, and he's got a bit of a defensive effort to do here on the young driver, Logan Hoy, the 2024 Irish Junior Rallycross champion. He's looking to, well, maybe not drive Rallycross here this evening, but certainly quick in a Formula V, as he has another young Irish racing prodigy right behind him in our very own Dylan McClements. And Dylan McClements, is actually in front of him now. Conor Melier in 6th position, just looking to defend from Robbie Callahan, although up the front, there has been 2 pullaways, Jordan Kelly and Sean McClements.
Yeah, they're absolutely on form right now, aren't they? And it's a case now for Sean McClements. What does he want to do? Does he want to build on that gap with Jordan Kelly a little bit more, maybe work together at this point? Or does he fancy battling away for the race lead at this early stage? Dylan McClements, meanwhile, looking for a move around the outside of Tony Stack, heading away in through Paddock Hill Bend. He'll try and launch it right around the outside. And by millimetres, he's managed to pull that one off, as Tony Stack will see if he can try and hold the inside line, as Logan Hoy dives his way up the inside, rides the curb for good measure to try and get the power down now. He gets his nose ahead, but he'll have to stay to the outside as we head away in towards Graham Hill Bend. Tony Stack able to hold on to the inside line. Then you've got Callahan. Oh, we've got a spinner in the background, and that's Conor Melier. Is that? No, it's not. It's Andrew Murphy. Apologies there. Andrew Murphy has had the spin there and finds himself now down into 14th place. Tony Stack then having the inside line against Logan Hoy. But now look at this. That's Robbie Callahan up the inside and trying to use that slipstream, that punching of a hole in the air from Tony Stack ahead to try and pull away from Ronan Doherty et al.
Yes, Conor Melier just getting ahead of Peter McCann now down towards Paddock Hill, so he's in 8th where he started. It's all swapping and changing in this mid-pack, as you would expect here from a Formula V race. Robbie Callahan is just ahead of Tony Stack now in towards the right-hander, and Doherty is going for a double move in towards the hairpin. That's unbelievable, as there goes Tony Stack round. He's taken Logan Hoy with him. Or has he? Yes, he has. They've both gone dropping down the order. Stack, though, the big loser in that one, might have sustained some damage as well, as it did seem like he went off into the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. Shame to see that for the 2 battlers there, who are both on for battling for a podium there, but they've caught up on each other, and it's allowed Dylan McClements a little bit of a healthy gap now for his 3rd place. Robbie Callahan now having to fend off Ronan Doherty, which is not an easy thing to do at the best of times, especially as you're thrown into the fire right here. As look at this then, Ronan Doherty looking for a move now up the inside in towards Paddock Hill Bend. So too right behind him is Peter McCann. But look at that then, launching, trying to go around the outside. There's contact, and that's Ronan Doherty around now, as cars have to take to the gravel there to avoid Ronan Doherty. But a bit of contact made there, and now he's fallen all the way down the field. It's been madness in the last couple of laps, but let's have a look at what happened at turn 1.
What a horrible evening this has been from Ronan Doherty. He took a clean sweep in Snetterton, but it's not been smooth sailing here in Brands Hatch. Down through turn number 1. There was a little bump there between himself and Robbie Callahan. Could be a little bit of net code involved as well. But that's now 3 races, and 3 times Doherty has had to recover his car from either a full spin or a half spin.
Yeah, he'll just want to keep Brands Hatch in the rear mirror at this point, won't he? As he'll look to just press on for the next one. Meanwhile, then Peter McCann has got a chance around the outside of Robbie Callahan. Robbie Callahan has the learner plates on the rear of his chassis, but he's diving into the deep end here and making it stick right now. Still holding on the inside line. Peter McCann still on the outside, still there. Hold your line, says Callahan's spotter. As Callahan now has the inside line through in towards Druids there. Peter McCann wanting to make that move stick. Conor Melier has found himself caught in this battle. Then he hasn't managed to find a way through. He's stayed ahead of Thortula then as we make our way through in towards the Graham Hill bend. But there are your leaders then, Jordan Kelly and Sean McClements. Sean McClements hasn't found a way past Jordan Kelly right now, but as we make our way in towards the approaching the halfway mark of the allotted time, it's Sean McClements who looking to see if he can find a way past. I mean, yeah, he's been lapping quicker than Jordan Kelly over the last couple of laps. He has a faster lap time than him overall, but the fastest lap of the race, it's Robbie Callahan.
Yeah, Robbie very quick at stages, it seems, because I think he went purple in heat number 2 near the end of the heat, which is not something you often see. He's now gone down the inside of heat 2 winner Conor Melia. Now big defensive move with Peter McCann right behind him. Callahan on the inside in towards Druids. Melia on the outside, and then just behind them it is Peter McCann and Tortullo. 4 cars all battling down towards the left-hander, and Robbie Callahan. Oh, they've both got off! They've both got off! It's Conor Melia and Robbie Callahan who've both taken a trip to the grass. That allows McCann and Tullo through.
Yeah, I think Conor Melia thought he was clear, but he still had the front nose there of Robbie Callahan alongside him. But I'll need to have another look at that to have a better view and a better idea of what happened. But that's promoted Peter McCann up into 4th place now. Thor Tuller is now right behind him into 5th place. And let's see what happened at Graham Hill Bend.
Let's have a look then. I think they might have just locked wheels. Yep, that is what's happened. They've just locked wheels, right rear to front left. And that unfortunately sees Melia and Robbie Callahan off the road. But I don't think they lost too much time. Robbie Callahan is... Well, I can't see him on the timing screen for a start, which doesn't help. But he is down the order, which is disappointing. Well, there's Robbie Callahan, so... He did lose a bit, I suppose. That is a little bit of inaccurate information coming out from the commentary booth. As here is Logan Hoy, Adam McNamara, and Ronan Doherty. 3 real-world racers. This, of course, 1 in the Minis, 2 in the Formula Vs. And it's the 2 in the Formula Vs who are attacking the Mini racer. Because Adam McNamara dives it down the inside of Logan Hoy, and Ronan Doherty is going to try and follow through. McNamara does not want to give Doherty the slipstream, however, but he moves straight back over. Nowhere really for Doherty to go. Has to dip a wheel into the grass. Full commitment from Ronan Doherty to try and make the move in towards Paddock Hill Bend. Yes, he's got it done. That takes bravery. That takes skill.
Brilliant from Ronan Doherty. Would you expect anything else from Doherty there as we make our way now up towards Druids? But this isn't over yet because McNamara wants to move down the inside in towards Druids there as Doherty leaves him the room there. But sweeping around the outside, he's got the better momentum. He's got momentum on his side as Adam McNamara will also have Logan Hoy right behind him as well, as now fighting his way back through the field is Conor Melia trying to find a way past Andrew Murphy. Both of them have been in the wars today. Both of them have had incidents at the Graham Hill Bend, and both of them now very much with the fire underneath them, looking to try and find their way through. We're only halfway through our allotted time, and so much has happened here. And long may it continue, this great battling, this great racing action. Up at the front then, it is Jordan Kelly still ahead of Sean McClements, but they're coming up to Lappery here, and I wonder how this is going to shape up the race. And then we've got a battle here for 5th place and 6th place right behind, as Adam McNamara now trying to hold off Logan Hoy, and that will allow Doherty to try and break away. Again, Logan Hoy trying to move up the inside, breaking later, trying to snatch the inside line, going through. Oh, there's contact between them, and Logan Hoy is around in that later mid-2000s Renault livery, and he's been collected now by... Was that Conor Melia? He was collected by Conor Melia, who once again finds himself facing the wrong way.
Disappointing for Logan, who was having a great race. He had a great result in Heat 2 and was looking for maybe even a better result here in Heat number 3. But that's thoroughly disappointing. And then Conor Melia just drove straight into the scene of the accident. And that just, I suppose, puts a button on his Heat 3. Here's Tortullo, who we are on board with. It's between himself and Peter McCann here for 4th. Dylan McClements in a world of his own for 3rd. And then Kelly and Sean McClements fighting up the front. It is Kelly leading, then Sean, then Dylan. Then it is Peter McCann, Tortullo, Ronan Doherty, Adam McNamara. Then it is Paolo Tempera, who's had a strong Heat 3. Then it is Jared Thornton as well in 9th, and Andrew Murphy in 10th. A notable mover in this one would be Adam McNamara, who is up 14 spots from his starting place.
Yeah, very good to see indeed. As we watch on Adam McNamara, then 7th place, as you said, Evan, up 14. Thortilla up 10, Paolo Tempera up 10, Gerard Thornton up 10, Matthew Todd up 11. As there's our battle for the lead then, Jordan Kelly versus Sean McClements. Both of these two have had very mixed days today, but they're battling away for the final spot in race number 3, as Jordan Kelly ran a little bit wide, collecting a little bit of gravel there. You can get away on iRacing with taking a little bit of gravel there, but get too greedy and you lose a little bit of momentum. And Sean McClements right behind Jordan Kelly here as we make our way through the Graham Hill bend and running wide, making good use of the AstroTurf that's on the outside then. And Sean McClements gets close to Jordan Kelly, but I think he's just deciding at this point it's not time for a move. He's not willing to make a move on Jordan Kelly until later in this race.
Sean has become a very composed driver in the last couple of weeks, maybe even just since the start of this Formula V championship. But even we saw this in Silverstone as well. Just had that gap in heat number 3, that was caught, but didn't panic, didn't rush things, and he's become very, very laid back. He's a very, very laid back person in general, is Sean McClements, which I suppose does help him. But yeah, he's definitely performing well and setting the same lap times as Jordan Kelly, so the move is on from there if he would like it. We're on board with Ronan Doherty now, leading the championship coming into this evening, but it's been an evening of woe really for him.
Yeah, it really has. It's just a feeling of nothing has quite worked so far today. Gerard Thornton then is seeing if he can find a way past Andrew Murphy. Andrew Murphy's just got his way past, and Gerard Thornton here is wanting that position back in the fantastically liveried Jordan 7-Up livery of the early 90s, that Jordan 191 feeling there, where Eddie Jordan said, if it's green and it's a sponsor, it's going on the car.
And rightly so. And rightly so. So here comes, there goes Adam McNamara, who is just getting past, or there's Andrew Murphy, sorry. He is battling here with Gerard Thornton, that is, in that Jordan livery. As he's certainly not the first man to run a Jordan livery in RTA, that is for sure. Paolo Tempera getting past Adam McNamara here, as that is that... Sorry, yeah, that is Paolo getting past. That completely threw me off for a second. I thought we were still watching the same battle.
Yeah, Andrew McNamara here, looking to see if he can find a way past Paolo Tempera as they're battling away for 7th place. Paolo's up 11 places, Adam is up 13, so both of them have had very, very good races indeed. Battling for 4th place here is Peter McCann and Thortilla then, as we make our way through in towards the final corner then, and making our way back around out of the Clark curve. Peter McCann knows there's a chance here to hold on to 4th place. Top 3, well, the top 2 have certainly broken away. Dylan McClements is in a race of his own at the moment in 3rd place. There is our lead battle with just over 5 minutes left of this race to run then. Up towards Druids we go. Jordan Kelly leads and Sean McClements has just kept in close company for now. But I imagine in the sort of final 2 minutes, Sean McClements will try and leave this as late as possible to try and make a move here. He's just not quite... whether it's a case of he's biding his time, waiting for the right opportunity, and if that right opportunity doesn't come, he'll certainly try to see if he can manufacture one in the last couple of laps.
Last time we came to Brands Hatch, it was Kelly trying to get past the McClements. Now it is the opposite here, and Ronan Doherty is going to, I think that's actually lap Tony Stack, so Doherty will remain in 6th. He is chasing down Thortilla. It is Paolo Tempera, the Portuguese man, who is right behind him. And Paolo has had a very strong evening here. Peter McCann in 4th as well has had a strong evening, as has this man, Adam McNamara, as we ride on board with McCann. He has got 1 podium so far this season. Don't think a podium is likely here tonight with Dylan so far up the road. And in all honesty, Dylan might be wondering what he's actually done wrong, because he's barely got a moment to even think in the last 2 evenings of racing, and he's had this whole race really to ponder the mysteries of life.
Yes, and the answer's 42, I would say. Philip Upson then trying to see if he can find, or at least defend there from David Prunty, and he's also got Mark Ivory behind as well, as David Prunty looking for a move. David Prunty moved down the inside in towards Druids, and he does get that move done, but Philip Upson is going to have the run down in towards the next corner, which he does get, and makes his way back up there into 12th place. Andrew Murphy then still trying to hold back Gerard Thornton. Thornton There's been a thorn in his side of Andrew Murphy as we make our way through in towards the final corner. Peter McCann and Thor Tuller. Tuller round the outside in towards Paddock Hill Bend, but Peter McCann holds the inside line and holds position then, up still in 4th place with just over 3 minutes of this race left to run. Gerard Thornton thinking about a move around the outside, thinking better of it this time, perhaps trying to get a later apex, or an early apex I should say, to get the power down earlier.
Yeah, great driving this from Gerard Thornton. He's really putting it up to these guys. And we see Jordan Kelly back at the front here with, Sean McClements. Is he now going to try and look for a move? Yes, he is. For the first real time in about 10 minutes, we have a swap for the lead. Sean McClements now leads here at Brands Hatch. So Jordan Kelly will tuck in behind and he'll now have to be the aggressor. McClements will try to go all elbows out like he was last week at Silverstone. I imagine there's some form of tactical swapping between these two. They're definitely not rivals. Definitely very good friends. So I'm sure there has been some form of tactics up until now to ensure that they do finish 1-2. Once you get to that 18-minute mark, it's usually all elbows out.
Yeah, it's normally who breaks that unconventional alliance first, isn't it? And it's normally the driver behind that wants to now get through. But I think we're going to see a bit of a scrap here as Sean McClements trying to run deep there in towards the inside of the final corner at Clark Curve. You see Jordan Kelly taking a slightly wider entrance to get the power down earlier, pick up the apex earlier, and looking now for a move around the outside. We have just under 2 minutes to go. We might get 2 more laps out of this. We'll have to wait and see. Jordan Kelly then round the outside of Sean McClements in towards Paddock Hill Bend, still round the outside for Jordan Kelly. He'll pick up that AstroTurf on the outside, move himself into the lead. Will Sean McClements think about a move up the inside? He certainly does think about it, tries to pull himself alongside, but can't quite do it. Jordan Kelly takes the lead back.
Yeah, great race in between these two. Here is Gerard Thornton once again, trying to get past Andrew Murphy, and Gerard is certainly driving out of his skin. I believe he actually has the lowest I rating of the field with under 1,000, 992. So Gerard is certainly he's out driving what the statistics say, and what a great race for him. But needs to just find that extra 10th if he wants to try to get past Andrew Murphy, or hope that Andrew Murphy does that again and runs that a little bit wide. That is lap traffic in front of those two. They are once again in a fight of their own. And we're kind of seeing these little gaggles of cars, Kieran, just 2 cars running around themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. As the Jordan Kelly there looked like he was going to give way to Sean McClements there. Perhaps he feels it's beneficial to be second on the final lap. But there goes Sean McClements then as he goes up the inside, going in towards Graham Hill Bend. Jordan Kelly following all the way through. They get very, very close indeed. They're going to get closer still as we make our way up towards Surtees now. This flying left-hander. Jordan Kelly has the inside, but then it'll become the outside as we make our way in through Clark Curve. Through we go then. Yeah, it is going to be close on time, isn't it, Evan? But they'll power out of the final corner.
Yes, they are. I think we'll get one more lap in here at Brands Hatch. Yes, we will. It will be Jordan Kelly versus Sean McClements for the race win. The white flag raises. Maybe a bit of a distance tow from Logan Hoye in front, but neither of these two will care. Sean McClements dives it down the inside through Paddock Hill Bend. Jordan Kelly can only watch and try and attempt the switchback maneuver. Is he going to lunge it into Druids? No, he isn't. Defensive action taken by Sean McClements. That forces Kelly to the outside line once again, and that's a brilliant defensive maneuver from Sean McClements, because it's put Kelly on the back foot into the middle sector, not able to lunge it into the Graham Hill Bend, and Sean McClements has 2 more corners and 1 straight to get through. But Jordan Kelly might have a last lap trick up his sleeve in towards the final corner of the Clark Curve. Is he going to go for the inside? McClements doesn't give up that line. He's planted it on the apex, planted it out of the final corner. Kelly will try and get the slipstream. It's a drag race to the line once again. Jordan Kelly trying it round the outside. Sean McClements has the crucial inside run up the hill, and who's going to get it at the line? It's the King of Heat Freeze. McClements wins again.
It's 0. It was 0 at the line. Thousandths of a second decided that race victory. I think that's 4 1,000ths of a second. On our timing screen, it goes to hundreds. I can see it's 4,000ths of a second. Brilliant stuff. Dylan McClements in 3rd place. Peter McCann in 4th. We're watching on here. Andrew Murphy has managed to best Gerard Thornton then towards the line. And that great scrap for 8th place then. And Tony Stack trying to hold off David Prunty in these final couple of corners and see if he can find a way up. Maybe 1 more position there, but not quite so. 12th place there as Adam McNamara came into the pits on that final lap there. What a great day for racing here. Sean McClements, as you said, king of Heat 3, as we see Conor Melia make his way across the line in a race, in a night he'll want to forget in very much a hurry, and put Brands Hatch right well and truly behind him. But great racing action, a bit of drama just to boot, and a great...
That says
drama.
Jordan Kelly has won.
It does.
It says Sean McClements on my timing screen.
It says Sean McClements on mine, and we saw it as Sean McClements, didn't we?
Ronan saying it says Sean McClements on his. Genuinely, the gap is 0 point. Like, there's nothing in it. It is as close as you can get. But we're. Yeah. Ronan just telling us in our ear, we're going to have to actually pull that one from iRacing to get the result. But it is either Sean or Jordan that has won. Dylan is in third.
We know Dylan's in third.
Yeah, we know Dylan is in third, and we know Peter's in fourth. We know Tortullo is in fifth. Then in sixth position, we do have Ronan Doherty. Then it is Paolo Tempera, Andrew Murphy, Gerard Thornton, Matthew Todd, Philip Upson, Tony Stack, David Prunty. Then it is Mark Ivory, Nick Tullow, Adam McNamara, Dave Collier, Sean McGoldrick, Conor Melia, Logan Hoy, Grace McCallion, Rich Murphy, Robbie Callahan, and then, of course, no appearance from TJ Taff. I suppose we'll bring in who we think is the race winner, which I assume we're going to go Sean McClements, seeing as that's who we all have on our timing screens. But this is a really unique scenario, as we'll bring him in now. Sean, congratulations on what we think is the race win. It was dead evens at the line between you and Jordan.
No, to be fair, I do think Jordan got it. Just about. I don't know. That was mental. Me and him was just chatting, like, because it shows I've won on my screen, but he's won on his screen, so we're just as confused as I'd say you saw as well.
Yeah, on our timing, on myself, Kieran, and Ronan's personal timing screens, it says you won, and then on our actual on-screen graphic, it says Jordan won. So we don't know either. But talking about the race as a whole, you kind of sat behind for most of it and then went for the attack in the last few laps. I'm going to assume that was planned.
Yeah. Obviously with the V's, the slipstream's that strong. After starting, I think it was 6th and getting into 2nd in the first couple of corners, I just knew me and Jordan could sort of build up a wee gap. We weren't together, and we just thought we'd give ourselves as big as a gap as we possibly could, in case, you know, we end up banging wheels a wee bit too hard and we sort of slowed down way too much. But no, to be fair, it worked out well between me and Jordan working together. To be fair, them last couple of laps was brilliant. I think there was a whole lap we were just side by side the whole time, which was great fun. But no, it was definitely good crack.
Then in turn, actually, I have a very much more important question. Are you wearing a certain sporting jersey once again tonight?
I may be. Of course I am.
And another question is,
I don't know what it is.
Are you actually going to win a heat that isn't Heat 3? Because it seems like no matter what happens, you somehow always end up near the front in Heat 3 and then just take the win. Maybe endurance racing is something you should look into?
Yeah. No, we've tried that a couple of times now. That endurance definitely hasn't worked for us. But no, well, to be fair, if you look at it, everyone always remembers who wins race 3 because of the trophy. So I'm a glory hunter, lads. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the room must be filling up a little bit now with that's 4 Heat 3 trophies now.
Aye, well, getting there now. Between Dalton and me, I think we've 5 or 6 now, so we're getting a good collection. Hopefully we can get more the rest of the season. Obviously I got one last weekend, but hopefully we can get more.
Damn, if you walked into Sean's house, you might actually think that Sean is a good driver. Sean, congratulations, and thank you very much for joining us.
Cheers, Evan.
I'm going to hand it back over to Kieran now to speak to our potential other race winner, Jordan Kelly.
Yes, Jordan, we're a bit undecided. We've got conflicting data, but on our screens you're second place, on another screen you're first, on your own screen you're first. So we'll talk to you as a race winner. Jordan, how was that? Because that your race tonight had a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one, to be fair. That the third race wasn't too bad. I could never get the starts right in these cars because there was changing up set to second off the line with my paddle, and it was just messing up every time. But finally got it right in that third race, and got a wee bit of a gap, and then Sean followed with me. So then we decided we'd just pull away until the last couple of laps and have a wee battle, which turned out really good for us. So no, it was a good finish, and it was I don't think we'll get a closer finish than that in a while.
No, absolutely not. We'll have to get the photos out to see what can happen there. I just want to say about race 2 as well. I think it was yourself and Ronan Doherty out of Graham Hill Bend, and we sort of saw you get to the side of the grass as if you were slowing down to let him back through. Was that the case?
Yeah, I just let him back through because I done a similar thing to him in the first race, and it just felt bad not doing it again. But it was just weird from where I was sitting. I'm sitting really high because I'm in VR, but every time I got close to him, it was just kicking his back end around. So I felt bad, so I let him through, and we had he tried to catch everybody up, which we did, but it's kind of went a bit messy in the last lap. But I managed to get up to seventh, so it wasn't too bad.
I was going to say you managed to recover to 7th, and potentially that's 2 race wins for you tonight. One at the very least, we know for certain. One's going to be up for debate, and I'm sure the stewards will decide who gets the race victory. But I mean, what a great scrap you had. I mean, the first race where there were at least 6 or 7 of you battling away, then the 2 of you managed to break away from the rest of the field, work together, and then decided gloves off last 3 minutes.
Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, Sean said to me straight away, he's not going to battle me, and we were going to try and get Ball the gap. So hopefully we'll get more good racing in next week because that was a good track for compared to last week's Silverstone. Just wasn't as many people involved, and it made it a wee bit cleaner, I think. So hopefully it stays that way.
Just
Oh my
I think it is Jordan by a nose. Ronan saying in our ear, it is so close though. It is genuinely so close.
Yeah, we'll have to get up the 4 decimal places on the iRacing website.
Yeah, I think so. Well, Jordan, we'll leave you to do that, but at least one victory confirmed to you. We'll see if it's 2 later on tonight. Jordan, thank you so much for chatting to us.
Will do. Thanks, Kieran.
Thank you, Jordan, and I'll hand it back to Evan to have a chat with Dylan McClements.
Yes, there's another excuse for any parents out there, by the way, who don't want to buy a VR headset, and that is that you mightn't be able to just quite see the bumper of the car in front if you're doing a Formula V race. So you can put that in the book of excuses. Dylan McClements, was there any point in Heat 3 that you thought you might have been nodding off a little bit?
I mean, it was a comfortable race, but I was trying to get around the front, but the toe doesn't really help, and there's still, you have to put in consideration. I had I still had a bad start as well, and I was started on the grid, but actually I think Jordan was I don't know, I forget, but so it was 100% podium race for this night, so I'm pretty happy. It puts me up the championship a bit more.
Yeah, I was just going to say that it mightn't have been the flashy results for you tonight, but certainly it is the consistency that you're looking to find. Is that going to be something that you're going to be working on heading into next week, just picking up decent points every race?
Yeah, hopefully, because our past couple of championships, I've always been there at the top, but I've always not had consistent rounds. I've always had one off round or a couple. I've always been at some point taken out of the race, and it just affected the whole race night. But I'm gonna try to keep out of trouble and be consistent every race to try to take this championship.
And then, of course, next week we are heading a little bit up north to Oulton Park. Is that a track you like?
I did it a while out when I was first doing everything, trying to build up my I rating. So it's a track I know, and I'm comfortable, and I don't think I'll have to put as much practice in and much effort in. Like I know my way around, but then again, the two is that big. There's still gonna be a load of us at the front battling.
Dylan, thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations on that 100% podium streak tonight.
All right, cheers.
And that rounds off our interviews for this evening. Even if we don't know who the heat-free winner is, we looked at it again closely, and I think the verdict might be Jordan Kelly. But it is definitely going to be something that we have to turn to the timing screens for, rather than the naked eye. I'm very much glad you're here, Kieran, because I don't have to do this alone. It's driver of the daytime.
It
Well,
is driver.
I say do this alone. I have forced Ronan pretty much to make the decision for the last 2 weeks, but that's a separate issue.
You coward! You absolute coward! Well,
Yeah,
look,
look,
I'm here.
I'm not great at making decisions.
Well, I'm here to help you out because I've got two drivers that I had in
Okay.
mind. One of them was Gerard Thornton, who had some great races battling up
Yep.
through the field, took advantage of a couple of spinners here, there, and everywhere. I'm just having a check of his results then. So he didn't have the greatest time for race number 2, but in race 1 he managed to gain. Where is it here? Yeah, 10 positions, so finished 14th place. And in the final race today, he managed to have a great battle there for 8th place, I should say, up 10 positions again. So he's up there. And I think also Paolo Tempera, which I believe, as you said, it was his debut, wasn't it, here at RTA? And boy, did he put on a bit of a show there. Again, a quiet second race where he finished down the order. But we have a look at race 1. He finished 10th. Race 3, he finished 7th. So both of them, in both races combined, he managed to get 15 places up in total. So I'm happy to say I'll put those two forward because I think they were quiet today, but I think on their own they had some pretty good races, showed some pretty decent pace, and had some good battles here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, in all honesty, I think I might have to agree with that Paolo shout, because we've seen other debutants come in and maybe, they have decent pace, but they got caught up in incident. But Paolo kept it clean, kept his nose clean, had some great battles, and picked up good results and good points. So, in all honesty, I am also tempted to go for the man making his debut.
All right, then. Shall we stamp it, seal
I
it?
think so. Paolo Tempera, driver of the day. I don't think we did get any suggestions from the stream chat, disappointingly. Oh no, sorry, we have actually got suggestions from the stream chat. The one week I haven't read them. Robbie Callahan, which is in all honesty a good shout as well.
It is a good shout. I just think the other two kept it more clean. I think Robbie had a fantastic. Was it P5 in the first race he had, which was absolutely fantastic. But
He was in some great battles as well, though.
He was, and look, we've chosen Paolo right now, but I think Robbie is definitely one to watch. He's made his mark here, and I think it won't be long before he can lose those L license plates.
Yeah, apologies. Yeah, apologies for ignoring those two comments. More importantly, we have a little bit of a confirmation here, and after all the bragging about his race-winning trophies, unfortunately, he won't be getting one. Sean McClements hasn't been awarded the Race 3 win. Jordan Kelly has been given that win. He will take the 30 points from heat number 3 after winning it in a photo finish.
Yeah, it really was a photo finish, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant battling between the two. But yes, Jordan Kelly makes it 2 wins out of 3 tonight, so he'll be very happy with that haul of points. And in all fairness, him recovering in race 2 to finish in 7th place after letting a driver back through is pretty commendable. It's a strong haul of points, and if I'm not mistaken, it's one of the strongest tonight. That's because it was such a hectic race. All 3 of them were.
Yes, it was, and I suppose that is the brilliance that this Motorsport.ie Formula V Championship is bringing. We'd like to thank Motorsport.ie once again for their continued support, of course, as we head to Oulton Park next week. Kieran, it's been a pleasure to have you back.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be back. Absolutely, and especially on a happy hunting ground. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yes, hopefully Kieran can make the travel up to near Liverpool next week and have him back again. But folks, hopefully we can have you back again at 9 o'clock next Tuesday night, the 8th or 9th of October. In all honesty, I can't read the graphic. But, well, hold on, it's the 8th because the 7 days in a weekend.
1 plus 7, Evan. 1 plus 7.
Yeah. You know, it's been 2 months since I've done maths, so, give me a break. It's the 8th of October. You can catch us in Oulton Park. You can check out the standings, of course, on RTA Virtual Motorsport.com. Like, in all honesty, they'll probably be up in about 5 minutes. And actually, I think we're being told they are up already. Your new championship leader is Dylan McClements. So, on that bombshell, it's good night. Thank you very much for joining us. Stay safe, stay well, and we shall see you next week. Slán go fóill.